vividly recall an OD solo Sanity's eclipsing PPD's Abaddon on like 3 separate occasions in their earlier series in this group. And here we just saw Clink's, a great deal of that 20k hero damage was probably just Lion's HP pool, because him and the Riki were just bullying PPD every single time, which is great because it gives 33 a chance to go for his less than cookie cutter item builds. I remember he was one of the earlier Sand Kings to also go for, like, in general, his Sand King is one of the more versatile, kind of like Ice 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 is. I actually consider 33 and Ice 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 to be very, very similar players. They both love these micro heroes. They both go for kind of weird builds, more survivable builds as opposed to like initiating builds. And so I think that's what NIP are relying on. 33 has proven to be time and time again their best path for victory.
Okay. Nahaz, would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I think that's dead on. The other thing is that style of play with the removal of the flat 50 gold loss on death, that's like the pile I die buff, man. And that style of play gets a direct buff. It feels good now to die, place an award as a support. All right, and there's the other staple that you were referring to from the 5 position for Peter. And we are gonna, okay, this I like much, much better. Mineski, their drafts so far at this event have, their first phase especially, have revolved around these Grimstroke combos. And not only here do you have an ability in the Stormbolt that synergizes well with the Grimstroke ultimate, but this is now a sick dual lane. And that is the recipe for, it's the most stable kind of open in Dota 2 drafting. Not only do you have team fight synergy between the abilities as the game goes on, but you're also showing a very, very strong dual lane that the opponent's forced to address.
That being said, I think that Abaddon is already kind of addressing that.
And man, I'm telling you, that game from 33 on Bristleback yesterday became the first player since 7.00 to reach 20 kills on Bristleback in a professional match. Set the hero damage record for the event so far in that game with 67k damage. Again, you want to talk about things that people have to address during the draft. This Bristleback now becomes Exhibit A.
Which NIP have not preempted this Bristleback as much as they did in the previous game. They had picked a second phase after banning out a Nyx Assassin and a Viper, which both breaks being instrumental in beating a Bristleback. In fact, the only fight that went poorly for 33's Bristleback is whenever the Nature's Prophet
get broken.
Exactly, finally built that Silver Edge. And so not having the Nyx ban, not having the Viper ban, both heroes fit into the Mineski draft so far. Viper not a, okay, well, so there's the Viper ban.
I was actually surprised because I sort of had looked away from the drafting screen assuming that Nyx and Viper were going to be the second phase bans, and I'm actually really surprised to see the Darkseer sitting there.
So still potential for a Nyx Assassin,
Absolutely.
or just Silver Edge builders in general, which Sven is not actually a terrible Silver Edge builder. I know most carries prefer Blink Daggers, most melee carries prefer Blink Daggers to be able to give that 1-2 punch, but you know, Sven can work his way into it. It just depends on how much do you respect this Bristleback, because I think that in the previous series they were not respecting the Bristleback, and that's why he was able to get that Aghanim Scepter, get that Warpath talent, and deal like plus 700 damage.
And hey, you know, while we're on the subject of that game yesterday, I would not mind seeing Mineski go for a Nature's Prophet themselves.
Sure. I
think you could go for a 3. In this case, I think it's important that you go for a KP, Nature's Prophet, and you get that Silver Edge up, possibly even a Spirit Vessel up that much earlier. Part of the problem in yesterday's game is it was the Tianming Nature's Prophet at the 4 position, so he didn't have that Silver Edge until well into the game.
10 seconds
Right, so Bristleback, the first time that we saw NIP lock it in, there were some questions for sure, and those questions were definitely answered quickly. Will Mineski decide to respect it? OD going to be the pick?
There's, again, OD, it's sort of the same theory of the OD against Medusa as a counter, where that Astral Imprisonment, you get this big tanky hero, you just zap him, you start stealing all his int, just take him out of the fight.
Or just the mana burn from the Sanity's Eclipse as well.
Right.
Although it's just, the bans from Mineski still seem like they're targeting 33, which almost leads me to believe, like, did they not see?
Yeah, did they not realize that it's going to be a 33?
Yeah.
Well, in fairness, Ace Bristle is a look that we've seen before.
Okay.
Right, so there is some flex value there. They'll run it as a safe laner.
Though a Brood Bristle draft just seems terrible.
Yeah, I don't think. I think the Brood ban is questionable. Let's put it that way. The Lone Druid ban I actually don't mind, because Ace Lone Druid is good as well.
Right. So they go for the OD. They still don't know what the mid lane matchup is, so picking Moon's hero surprisingly early in the draft.
Well, I think this is where you talk about the classic sort of laning counters to the OD. You talk about like the sniper, or like the Pugna. You go farther back. I'm not as big a fan as the Razor, but it is Fata, so you got to talk about Razor. And Lina is another matchup that Fata at least is pretty good with the OD mid. All right, very nice. Saxa Rubik. Let's lock that down.
Man, what happened to Oracle? That was like so popular in day 1 and 2, and now just completely ignored.
I still think it's just going to pick back up, right?
Yeah.
You've seen Darkseer getting banned a lot.
Yeah.
You've seen lineups that aren't as susceptible to the purge.
True.
Right.
10 seconds
You know,
remaining.
Ember's getting picked really late in drafts, so by the time Ember's picked, Oracle's usually banned.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Remaining.
I definitely don't think your Oracle valuation should have gone down based on this tournament so far.
What about my IO valuation? That's like, I have no idea where IO is.
Yeah, I think again, my prior on IO and Chen was that IO, and the pub stats back that up, is that IO and Chen have been mega nerfed. Chen, I'm coming back up on a little bit. IO, until proven otherwise, I still think is really problematic.
And AA, you're thrilled about in tri-lane situation
Tri-lane,
specifically.
yes,
And
I
you got
like that a
3
lot.
stuns, Stormhammer, Inkswell, and the Cold Feet.
5 seconds.
Whoever shows up in that offlane is
So
going to have a hell of a time.
What do you think about? I like this AA pick here because you.
I think Abaddon and Bristle can tank it.
Okay.
I don't think they have any issues.
Well, no, my question was going to be when you see that AA pick come on board, it's basically, all right, you've shown your first 3 heroes. It's probably going to be those 3 heroes that have to play in a tri-lane against the AA. And I like Sven, Grimstroke, AA against Bristle, Abaddon, and Rubik in a tri-lane.
I suppose, but I wouldn't be surprised if they just duel. Like let the Rubik and the Abaddon go in their lane, deal with the entire tri-lane of Mineski. I think a Bristle and an Abaddon can easily handle it because Aphotic Shield, like you need the combinations of all 3 stuns. Like the Stormhammer comes out first, gives time to run over with the Inkswell to get the Inkswell stun, and then that gives time for the Cold Feet to proc. But an Abaddon's Aphotic Shield and the Bristleback's just passive damage reduction can put a cork in all that.
Okay.
And which is why I like them going for something greedier now. Get something like a Medusa and force Mineski to maybe have to abandon their tri-lane, which just makes the dual lane of Abaddon and Bristle that much stronger.
I will say I don't like it because you're picking Medusa into OD.
Yeah.
I actually just, it's kind of like the Life Stealer at the end of the previous draft. It didn't end up mattering, but you're picking Life Stealer into Naga, and you know at certain phases of the game that's going to be problematic. Like you, as NIP here, you do feel like you're the better team.
Yes.
And so you're not as worried about these late game carry matchups. I get that during the draft, but it still feels like just living dangerously to me.
Unnecessarily.
Cue the Austin Powers quote. Yes.
Is there really any other way to live? AA here we like because of tri-lanes, right, Naz?
Yeah.
Now, have we seen as much tri-lane action as we thought we were going to see? I know that was one of the big talking points when we started everything off, mostly because of the tome changes and things like that. Has it really been?
Not quite as much. I mean, it was if you looked at Birmingham, right, it was the aggro tri-lane was actually the second most popular type of lane at Birmingham behind 2-1-2, which laning setup rather, which is pretty unusual, and it had almost a 60% win rate. So that was something I thought we'd see a little bit more of coming into this tournament. But again, we talk about the composition of the teams here, right? These teams have probably not had as much reps on those kind of laning configurations.
Okay. Definitely important to think about here as we're waiting for the last picks to come in. This series.
That's a really good. Well, is it a good bat ban?
I
No.
feel like they don't think that 33 is playing Bristle. And after all these bans,
No.
I don't know why.
Okay. Yeah. You've seen Bristle, and your last 3 bans are all 33 heroes. Although I guess both Fata and Ace do play all these, so that's all right. And Ace plays Brood.
I mean, still, I like maybe they're thinking that it'll be like a safe lane Medusa, and they didn't want to deal with a bat mid versus OD. But either way, like I don't think Mineski are attacking the right front, which I don't know what.
Yeah.
Like I know Arc Warden was situationally banned out very much against Ace, which is what a lot of second phase bans were against NIP.
Well, they did. That's the thing. They did show bat mid yesterday.
Yeah.
In combination with the Bristleback, and it looked so powerful because that
Sticky Napalm
fights
plus
are
goo.
Well, fights are just so drawn out, and that magic damage over time felt so good. There's the so
It's been a while.
there's the Fada Puck. That is the 4th most played player hero combination in pro Dota 2 history. The Bulldog Prophet being number 1. I like it here a lot. I think it's going to be just fine laning against the OD.
So safe lane
10
Dusa.
seconds
Yep.
remaining.
And Mineski somehow don't respect the Bristleback because both
5
the
seconds
breaks get
remaining.
banned out at the end by NIP. And I don't really know what Mineski can pick in this situation that would help them out very much. They need a KP hero. I don't think the Nature's Prophet will do the job at this point because you have to deal with a farming Medusa.
Again, though, the question to me, regardless of this last pick, because they're going to pick something here, I think that's pretty stable.
Underlord.
Underlord's not bad. KP needs to have a game here, right?
Yes.
You need to
Please.
think about let's pick something for KP that's very stable in this lineup. But here's the thing. I think NIP is looking at this and saying, we're better, we're confident with this lineup, we're going to end the game before the Dusa versus OD disadvantage really matters, especially given that Dusa is not going to be against OD in lane, okay? The worry is we saw Fada in 2 games yesterday really struggle,
Yeah.
1v1 in his lane.
But this is this boy, this Puck,
If
signature
OD
Puck.
goes off against Puck in lane and
God.
gets big,
Oh, God.
that's a problem for Medusa.
That's a pretty big problem.
Yeah. So that's kind of my story. Regardless of the last pick, that's my story of how, all right, and wow, okay, this is 3 position Sven, and we're going to see another Ajit PA. All right.
No, not all right. I don't like
Does
this.
PA answer any of the things that you were looking for, Tsunami?
No, because you don't have an answer for Bristle still. Bristleback is... the only thing you have is the OD, which we saw in the previous game, 33, did not give a hoot about. So I think that they didn't respect it. All their bans were not towards 33. So I mean, all their bans were towards 33 as if he wasn't playing the Bristol. So I don't think Mineski had
No.
a good idea.
So the funny thing is, I think on paper that PA pick is bad for all the reasons Tsunami just said. I don't think it matters. I think your win condition for Mineski, whatever that 5th pick was going to be crushing mid. I don't think that changed based on that PA pick.
Okay.
Okay. I think it's important to bring up the fact that you said no hoots given here.
No hoots
when,
given.
When you actually do look at this series, we've had throughout the entire tournament, everything's been best of 3.
Yeah.
Every single series has gone all the way to game 3.
Rich Campbell magic.
It's a curse and a blessing. Do you think that this is the first one that does break that curse? That does break that trend? Is this a 2-0?
I think this is a 3-1 outdraft by NIP.
Okay.
Yeah.
You agree with that?
Oh, yeah. Let's wrap it up.
All right, guys. Well, let's see if we are going to have a situation here where we have our first series that has ended in just 2 games. 2, that's a great number. Speaking of great numbers, SAP, they have the absolute best. They're our analytical partner throughout the entirety of this tournament. Let's jump down to the casters right now and potentially see the first 2-0 of the minor.
Well, it seems like our panel heavily leaning towards Ninjas of Pyjamas to 2-0 this series. Hopefully that's not the case just because we want to see Mineski with some sort of fire in them, something to be able to get going because that first game was a bit of a disaster. Hopefully game 2, they've woken up a little bit. It's an early morning and we're ready to go. Blitz, do you agree with the panel?
I mean, I really like their strategy from yesterday. That's essentially the same thing that they're doing in this game.
Yeah.
What was their mid-hero that game? I'm trying to remember exactly what their lineup was.
I don't remember, but
They
I'm
had
pretty sure.
Ace was Lycan.
Yes.
Ace was Lycan. And Fada was Bat.
That's what it was. That's right.
I really liked that
Mid-bat,
lineup.
right.
It was like sticky napalm plus like the AoE goo.
Yeah.
Felt like everybody was like perma ice walled.
Everybody wanted to like turn and attack something that wasn't the Bristleback, and the Bristleback was just laying out a bunch of damage, and it was a Bristleback that matched up against an OD and an Ancient Apparition
He looked
here,
fine,
which
honestly.
is traditionally some decent counters to Bristleback, but
I think that's why they took the PA for like the heavy burst.
yeah. They get the disable on the Bristleback. All they have to do is get the PA in front of them, get like 1 or 2 good crits. But we'll see. It's definitely an interesting lineup for Mineski once again, as they're going to be running a 3-position Sven, which I thought was going to be in an aggro tri-lane until that last pick. I'm not sure if you can leave PA alone against whatever's going to be happening here. Nipper currently hiding their lanes.
I do like Mineski's lineup a lot more anyways, than Then they had Ricky,
Then 4 Ricky.
Naga, Klink's cores. Like that was pretty bad. At least this time around, they're giving themselves an opportunity to win. I can see a way in which they can actually win a team fight.
Yeah.
Which I feel like in the previous game, that was not happening.
The battle begins.
So it's going to be 33, and then I thought it was going to be 33 plus Saksa Rubik's. Peter's probably just up here securing the bounty runes.
Yeah. I will say,
well, does he want to be with the puck, or does he want to try and leave the puck solo?
I think he probably is going to go down to the puck.
Yeah.
I will say that I think that NIP's lineup will look really bad in the beginning.
And why is that?
They just have no kill potential anywhere on the map. Like their support duo doesn't really deal damage. They're like a team fight support duo. And similarly, their cores don't really do anything without levels or items.
Oh, Ninja Boogie, you need to get to a tower ASAP. These heroes are faster than you, which is going to take a lot of damage on his way out. It does leave a 1 versus 2, but I'm pretty sure 33, he's okay with 1v1ing the PA, and I think he's also okay with the 1v2 as well. Ninja Boogie barely gets back to the tier 1. In time, they're going to try and go for an Inkswell kill onto 33 right now, building up that damage. They really like the combo with the Riki, and they're going to continue it here with the PA. And 33 managed to eat through the trees, forced to blow a decent amount of regen there. So not terrible for Mineski. And it seems like NIP are going to continue the tri-lane. They're going to let the puck have the 1v1 against KP's Sven.
And that's surprising just because I don't think their tri-lane actually kills. And that's usually what you want out of your tri-lane. Like, NIP's lineup, I think the real big downside of it is that I can't see a way that they get kills early. Like, pre-15 minutes.
Right.
The only way they're actually going to get kills is if they get counter kills.
Nice telekinesis toss back. The Inkswell will not land.
It would have to be somebody gets gone on, then Rubik lifts somebody under tower, and they get a kill by that.
Okay, but how about this theory?
Sure.
Which is that your aggro tri-lane can, even if it doesn't kill, it doesn't lose to the enemy.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And you're happy with puck 1v1 against Sven, are you?
I mean, Sven just free farms, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and they're both going to probably free farm, right?
The way that I look at this game is NIP want to hit this like really sick mid-game timing like they did with their other draft. But they don't have that Bat Rider that was able to just run around. It's this Puck, who I also think needs farm. As 33 most likely just going to suicide here.
Yeah, he knows he's dead.
Yeah. And that's going to be a first blood. And I would anticipate most of the first kills of the game to just all go Mineski's way as the Courier is not going to reroute towards bottom.
Yeah, they saw him pick up the Invis rune. He had a rune ward already set up. 33 died, but he does have bottle and level 3 now.
And PPD is running around and trying to do stuff, but he's still level 1. The supports feel a little bit more useful here as KP. I mean, KP is level 3, and he's been doing fine.
I'm pretty sure he just plays with 33, right? And then, like, whenever they go on him, he just gives them the aphotic shield. Eventually, he's going to build up too many bristle stacks that they can't continue to fight him. As you can see here, Mineski get 33 low, but they're a little bit too many stacks, so they have to back up, reset. And that just means Peter gives him more and more miscoil to get up to full.
Any of Mineski's deaths in the early game will come off a mistake.
Yeah.
They have none of their cores have a stun in their laning phase. Like,
oh, that miscoil.
That was close, but
it almost went out in time. That was almost the mistake.
It's got to feel somewhat frustrating though when you're put in a position like this, when you simply just like can't kill in lanes. You're just waiting. You're playing the waiting game, hoping that the laning phase goes pretty well.
Peter, aphotic shield on himself. The Inkswell gonna slow him down even more. And Miscoil tried to go for the deny, but you saw Ajit actually stopped one of his attacks. He wanted to bait out the Miscoil to make sure that Peter couldn't get the suicide off. A cute little play that works out nicely, getting Mineski their second kill of the game.
And all according to plan so far, and just much better lineup overall. Because they can get kills in the laning phase, they can transition out. They have a good counter to the Bristleback and the Dusa. Like they can actually accomplish stuff in the mid game, which I think is quite important.
Do you think, so the panel felt like the Bristleback wasn't countered, and one of the big reasons why is there's no natural silver edge hero. Nahaz suggested that, or I think Tsunami actually suggested that maybe Sven would get it or something. Do you like that idea?
I think Sven getting it is actually not a terrible idea.
Yeah. I would be down for that. Especially since we saw a large part of the reason 33's Bristleback went off is because there was no break mechanic.
They did end up getting one in that game.
Yeah, it was just
With
the
the Wraith
4
King?
position.
No, didn't the Wraith King get? No, that's
No,
another
Nature's
game.
Prophet.
That
Nature's
was
Prophet
the
got it.
game where K1 played.
Yeah. I don't even know. He didn't even need the break.
I saw
remember
so many Wraith Kings in the last 2 days.
Yeah, it's been quite the Wraith King bonanza here at StarLadder so far.
Just TP lol.
How's the Medusa versus OD matchup? How's that supposed to go?
I think it's fine for the OD.
Okay, because he is up right now, 23-15 compared to 17-9.
I mean, I figured that the Dusa is fine though, because Dusa naturally does pretty well against in-course.
Yeah. Like you're not going to get as much farm as the OD, but you're still going to be farming away. Soxa going to be caught on the side here. They throw out the Inkswell. Will be able to catch up, but he also have the silence onto Soxa if that actually procs. No extra damage there. Soxa was able to kill in time. Fada managed with the coil to be able to save Soxa's life.
Oh,
Gets a good
they
orb
break.
out. Now Peter's here to be able to give an aphotic shield, more miscoil damage, enough to be able to kill KP. There is a reason that the Fada Puck is a deadly duo.
That was actually so well done by him. He used the coil to cancel the animation, so the Grimstroke had to pre-prep it, and then he just kept second-guessing himself.
Yep.
And those are the only type of kills that they should get is when Mineski decided to do some sort of dive, because if Mineski just play passive and chill, it's pretty hard for them.
Well, they'll completely reset. Raging Potato dies. TP's up to top lane to be able to get a kill on 33.
Yeah, and Audrit's game is actually still pretty good, but
Yeah.
moves like bottom lane, I just feel like you don't really have to make.
Yeah. I mean, the reward is getting a Rubik kill who's still level 2. Like, that wouldn't be a massive win, but losing 2 of your heroes against Fada like that, it's going to be a big blow.
Dire's bottom tower is under
As
attack.
Fada pushes with the wave,
Dire's
trying to
structures are fortified.
force him out. And Moon's pinging right now. He's saying, come Shrine, but unfortunately, he's not going to wait for KP at all.
No. So KP will have to walk back to base. Moon's going to head over here because he doesn't like this tower taking so much damage.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, but his mid lane,
Like this, they're even going to tank for the tower a little bit, or the siege creep rather, just to get those few extra shots.
Fada's just styling a little bit on Moon right now, and
Yeah.
the catapult does eventually go down, but this lane has gone very well for them.
Managed to do 1,000 damage to that tower because of Fada's move and pushing past the tier 1. And the use of the glyph as well, I think, was rather clever.
Dire's middle tower
Mid lane
is under
Moon
attack.
manages to make his way back here.
Oh,
He's
you're gonna try and go on to ace here. He does manage to get off the stone gaze just in time before the damage could kill his
just
mana
gonna
shield.
reset. He's got shrines available for himself too. His top lane.
33 might be in trouble again here. Will be able to get out of the cold feet. Takes a decent amount of damage. Ninja Boogie actually is taking so much right now because he has a lot of minus armor. Fortunately, he will get away. Moon trying to kill Peter right now. Is trying to duck through the trees. Cuts open another slot. Gets into the tier 1 tower area. And
Well
Moon
done.
cannot pursue.
This reminds me of last game where
Is under attack.
he had to play against this matchup, and OD just kept all winning on him.
Yeah.
Don't fall into that trap that ASD did.
They also drafted Rubik against OD in a similar situation, and why not? You get a guarantee steal on imprisonment a lot of times, and that imprisonment lasts for, well, how long does it last?
This sort of reminds me of
6.5 seconds or something?
the same thing that we saw in the game that
Yeah.
NIP played when they ran this draft last.
Mhm.
But you just need, if you're a Mineski fan, like, you're really hoping for them, like, guys, the execution needs to be better.
Yeah.
Because there really should not be deaths in that situation, as they're going to go on a PPD.
And at the same time, Ninja Boogie's also going to be gone on, but he dies before he can complete his TP. Ajit does manage to get the kill onto Peter before he can go for the deny. Now they're going to turn. 33 thought he could fight, and maybe he can get a lot of damage out. He keeps on getting his back over to Ajit, but it's not enough. Ajit still does too much. And there is something, you said the execution needs to be better for Mineski. Well, they have a lot easier time to execute, right? This is a simpler lineup in many ways.
I mean, they have a lot of stuns, and they're going to run at you.
Yeah. Click the stuns on the heroes. No arena
It doesn't really
song
get that much complicated.
combo.
AA Ice Blast onto the Bristle and the Dusa, hopefully.
Yeah. Hit a Soulbind, get double Cold Feet, double Stormhammer,
Yeah, their
double
lineup,
daggers.
their lineup last game was, it was like too big brain for themselves.
Yeah.
You know, when you overthink it, as they're gonna get another kill onto PPD, and this is what they need in the laning phase. Just quick, easy kills. You shouldn't be trading deaths in return because unless they have coil, they really have like no hard disable.
They had a ward on the high ground next to the Radiant Tier 1 that saw the rotation from Fada, so they knew that Nip was throwing all their heroes over here to get these top 2 bounty runes, so they give up that space, let KP get the bottom 2, and play safe inside the jungle. I feel like that was a really important moment just because Fada is very powerful right now with double nulls, Veil of Discord, level 8. They cannot afford to get into a bad engagement against him. They're going to try with the Sven rotating over, getting into the back line. They're going to go for Zoxa, but a coil comes out. Ajit is not going to be able to get the kill, but Ninja Boogie will collect it now. They manage to get the silence onto the puck. A big kill, but he managed to get rid of that silence, gets the Gorb out, and that's enough damage. But Ajit's going to jump back in to try and finish off this puck. He knows he does not have an orb for 1 more second. That's enough to get the kill. Can he jump away, though? Phantom Strike, 1 second time. Get over to the creeps. Can't get there. 33. Kills him, level 9. Bristleback now, thanks to being the last one standing in that engagement.
And Fada is so important to this team with this puck because he's their only real playmaker and they need to create space for Ace. It means that whatever rotation he makes pretty much has to be successful. There's like a lot of pressure on his shoulders because his 2 supports also don't really deal damage. That's the thing about Rubik as a support that sort of lacks is you yourself don't really deal damage. You're just hoping that you steal good team fight abilities, you get some stuns. But this Fada puck so far delivering. He's got Veil, which I think is like the most value item right now for side laners.
Yeah.
Especially because it comes with the recipe, like includes Helm of Iron Will, which is insane, right? Like so much armor. It just naturally stats you up.
You could buy everything in the side shop,
Yeah.
which is super hype.
Are fortified.
I mean, I really don't like side lane Sven anymore.
Structures are
Yeah.
fortified.
I don't really like Sven as anything other than a mid.
Yeah,
We saw it at
Wait, Sven?
ESL or Carry. We saw it at
Yeah.
ESL Birmingham where he was the 5, right? Ex Nova had to play him.
Yeah.
I was like, that feels miserable.
Yeah. Ice Frog nerfed the concept of the 3 and 5 position Sven pretty hard. They
This,
try and go for the kill on Peter, but he does manage to just TP away after the imprisonment.
he is used to playing against OD.
Yeah. He got a lot of practice in that like 60-minute game.
When ASD ran into his illusion rune and he forgot about the interaction of the silence.
Yeah.
Ooh. But yeah, this Sven, he had a one-on-one lane for a while, right? Because the 2 supports were up at top, and he's 3rd from the bottom right now in net worth. This Rubik even further ahead than him, and he has no real way to come back because his other 2 cores are so greedy.
Yeah.
So he has to play the same style that Fada does without the help that Fada got. So it's not even like KP... I can't really blame him for the situation that he's in.
It seemed like Mineski had this idea of the lanes, that they were going to have this kill lane, this aggro tri-lane of Sven plus AA and Grimstroke.
Yeah, that does sound like a really good lane, but then, you know, NIP did the hard swerve by switching things up.
Yeah. They're just like, okay, well, instead you're going to face a puck. How are you going to execute that combo
It's similar to what
against
NIP
him?
did yesterday versus Sirius in game number 2, where they made the Ench simply just play off lane.
Yeah. I feel like that's sort of, you'll never see like a true tier 1 team make that mistake of tipping their concept of, hey, we're going to aggro tri-lane and we don't know we have a stronger 1v1 than you. I feel like whenever I see the top tier team set up an aggro tri-lane, it's because they always have like a superior 1v1 matchup. They have some sort of like Bat Rider versus somebody.
Yeah, So now, Sux is really farmed. He already has Aether Lens in a good spot right now. Grim's actually really farmed too. It's really just this Sven. I mean, KP's going to have to hope for like a really good team fight.
Smoke up, rotation up to the top lane. They want to be able to shut down this OD. They know he's farming up here somewhere. They're going to go into the high ground area. Moon farming that easy camp will run right into them. Oh, he actually goes over to the tier 2 instead, but still going to be caught by the coil. That'll be enough for the kill. And the rest of Mineski, you look over them, what are they doing? Well, they're mostly just farming. KP immediately pops the God Strength, seeing that kind of heavy rotation means he should bang on this bottom tier 1 tower. The rest of his team are going to start coming over into this area a little bit just to make sure. But Fada's not going to give up the tower so easily. He can just kill the creep wave.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And now, Nip after that rotation into the OD. They're getting damage on the mid-tier 1 tower, which Mineski needs to figure out what they're going to do. Are they going to go for that bottom lane push or are they going to defend mid?
And they have to decide right now. And
It's too late.
a little bit too much hesitation. 3 heroes are starting to run towards mid. And now it's going to be easy for NIP if they really want to. They can defend this tower. They've got Blink Dagger on Puck soon. Fada's timing is still very good. Ace has had completely uncontested farm this game.
And they don't have like a good way to catch the puck when he just keeps on doing these sort of things where he cuts the creep wave. They did glyph to keep the creep wave alive.
So they will lose the tower in the end. But
Tower has fallen.
just during that time, everybody farmed out. The Dusa now has a full Manta style.
Hannah Midas into Blink Dagger for Moon. He's going to try and catch the puck, but doesn't quite get him.
Moon is the other prolific puck player that I know, aside from like S4.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
He knows all the shenanigans.
Yeah. Do you think that's why he got the Blink Dagger? Because I'm not sure how good OD is at catching
And trying to get to the
puck.
back line
Yeah.
is pretty important. As the AI
Oh,
splash.
that's going to total whiff, as is the Stroke of Fate.
Yeah, they were smoked up for that, but now things are going to reset a little bit as KP might get gone on here as Fada just reads this perfectly.
Yeah.
His life continues to be pretty rough here.
They keep on putting him, like the way he played Mars was super like split pushy, wanted to get a big mid-game farm, and he just kept getting caught over and over again. I feel like Sven kind of has to do that style of play.
I mean, somebody's got to deal with this bottom wave and just like push it in.
Yeah. So he's got to be the kind of suicidal
Yeah, he
run
just
down
got
lane
red there.
hero.
I don't think he needs the most farm anyways. Like, really, he's just a frontliner with Warcry.
Yeah.
The entirety of the game, it no longer depends on him. Now it comes down to does your OD and your PA get enough farm? Can they get Aegis? Things like that.
Yeah. And as you said, KP kind of has to do the same job as Fada. Fada has the better hero for it, and he's currently 4-1-4, has a Blink Dagger, Veil of Discord. He's been able to cut a lot of waves, start a lot of fights for them as well. And they're looking for somebody up here in this lane, then they can push it into the tier 2. But everybody from Mineski's on the other side of the map right now. Moon's going to be farming out mid. They're farming up the triangle, pushing out bottom. Mineski seem kind of scared right now. Just trying to play away from... Oh, that's a smart choice. Raging Potato goes Ether Lens, and he's already got the Aghanim Scepter queued up. He wants to get a dark portrait of that Medusa.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Already prepping for the 30-minute game. I like it.
Dire's top
Yeah.
tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom
They're getting a halberd now on this this bristle. I really like this build that 33 does, by the way. And they're just going high ground without their Dusa. They're trying to force them back, and Mineski, you probably want to respond to this. This is a lot of damage for free.
Well, they've caught Moon in mid lane at the same time. They pushed up the top while simultaneously making a play into mid. They managed to get him with the imprisonment. Moon won't be able to blink away. He's quickly silenced by Fada.
They could just go Roche.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Roche. Just have Ace push out the lane, pick up this DD rune. 33's got a lot of minus armor.
I'm down with that. And
That's
Mineski,
exactly what they do.
are they going to be able to fight for this? I mean, they've got Ice Blast plus Soulbind, which I guess is good around the Roche pit.
Ice
but
Blast is their only real vision spell, though. And
yeah.
I don't know if you waste this, what ends up happening is NIP can just back up. But, I mean,
Yeah,
the
they're just
Roshan
gonna
is so low.
commit. Roshan's just low enough, they'll go for it. But yeah, it was a lose-lose scenario, right?
And they even get the kill on Raging Potato during this time.
I mean,
As Fada
there's
+1.
there's just such superior catch on the side of Nip. Well, Mineski seem to be struggling everywhere they go. Their supports seem lost.
I think that Mineski was supposed to win the laning phase a lot harder.
Yeah,
With the heroes that they had, I think they were meant to be much more aggressive.
yeah.
Ace just got untouched the entirety of the game.
Dire's middle tower is under
KP now has a Blink Dagger, but I don't even know if it matters if you get to the backline at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Mid tower. That's a pretty cool graphic. It's going to go down.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
They'll probably deal with this bottom lane before... Oh, actually, they're just going to connect up to top, and they're saying the Sven can't really push high enough, and
And
another
if they catch
kill?
the Grimstroke, I mean, that's one of the best heroes to be able to kill the creep wave from long distance.
Yeah, Mineski, I don't think they expected that. I think they anticipated them going back towards this bottom lane, and
Yeah.
KP is pinging towards there, but you will not push this nearly as fast.
Nope. He got strength up, and this sort of desperation could lead into one of two things. He's either going to get caught in bottom lane, or he's going to be forced to TP back early
Under attack.
as Nip back up.
Jesus,
No, they
Dusa
can
is
take
so
shrines at
farmed.
any point. Manta, Hurricane Pike.
1,000 gold on top of that.
13,000 net worth. Currently, the PA is sitting at 10K. So, I mean, at this point, Mineski, you're going to have to... I feel like you have to go for late game. You just have to go for the OD level 25 PA and hope for the best.
The miserable part right now for this PA is normally your comeback mechanic is you can blow up the supports.
Yeah.
But Abba has his ulti, so you don't want to use any valuable time on him. And Rubik has a Ghost Scepter now. And he's got Astral for offensive and defensive needs.
Dire's top shrine is under attack.
But Puck's not going to be an easy kill without,
Yeah,
like,
there's
some
no-
sort of... They have no instant disable against the Puck.
Yeah, there's no easy kill for Ajit here. Like,
No.
he has to commit hard. He's got a Blink Strike in, then he's just going to get lifted. Everyone's going to pop all their defensive abilities.
Dire's structure.
All right, well, Medusa's pushing high ground at 20 minutes again, and he's going to take the range barracks.
And KP's like, guys, we're not doing anything about this. But it doesn't get easier as time goes on. As the coil laid
Yeah.
out onto Ninja Boogie.
And the supports, they're like, oh, we can't just give this up. But every single time they get a little bit too close, Vada finds the initiation. The Ice Blast is coming in. They're going to be able to get the Soul Bind, locking in these two heroes. KP came in, managed to get the double stun. He has the Inkswell on top of him as well. He's running away, though, and doesn't get the stun onto 33 or Ace. And Moon, well, he does have the imprisonment on himself as well as a blink away. He could do something like that.
And Ajit
will
coming in
not
from
die
the
to
side.
Vada.
He wants to fight. He's going to throw out the dagger. Soxa. They're just going to back out and reset.
Look
Oh,
at Vada. He just, you know, he can't stop him.
It's cute.
Like, everything that comes at him is some sort of projectile. Phantom's Embrace, Stormhammer. So, they take the range barracks. They do successfully defend the melee, but it's 6,000 net worth lead for Ninjas in Pyjamas.
Dire are scanning.
They have full map control for heroes like the OD or the Medusa and Bristleback. It just means a lot of farming time. Once he gets Butterfly on Ace, he's going to be unstoppable. PA and OD, not MKB buyers. Neither is the Sven, even if we was a relevant core, which he's really not.
And they're going to go for the smoke again.
Structures are fortified.
Vada's going to deal with this bottom lane. They don't really have any of the towers down here, so the rest of the team is going to connect. And Vada feels very safe to make this play and show
Yep.
and be aggressive because they've demonstrated they have such a hard time dealing with him and killing him in the first place.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Both teams know that this is going to be the area we're fighting around. Both throw wards and sentries all over the place.
And the OD is from
Mineski's-
behind right now. They might
Yeah.
go for some sort of pincer move, but
The KP makes his initiation with the Ice Blast following up onto the Bristleback. Barely clips him. They did just no damage whatsoever. And the OD, he started running forwards. He's like, oh, we're taking the team fight. And then he saw that no damage
yeah, that was
went
the
out
Godswing
at
too.
all.
And that's the problem that Sirius ran into in the previous series against NIP as well. Is yes, you have the AA versus the Bristle, but getting on top of him and actually fighting him and bringing him low in HP is a different story.
Vada just always on the hunt. I love how fast he's moving around the map. The moment somebody shows somewhere else, he's ready to TP and intercept. And right now, he's just waiting for Moon to cut another creep wave, and he's going to.
Dire's bottom
Once he
tower
does,
has fallen.
can catch him with the coil and hope his allies are able to rotate fast enough. There it is. There's the coil. Showing himself. Moon is going to be silenced for a bit. Now he can imprison himself and try and go for the blink away. He's going to imprison the Puck instead.
Oh, this is smart.
Blink away, TP out. And we'll actually be fine. His allies couldn't get there fast enough.
And Fada not even bothering to chase. He knows it's over.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
But this is a full butterfly now, completed by the Dusa. And this item is so good against both the PA and the OD, especially the OD. The OD just always struggles with the evasion because he doesn't want to get MKB or Bloodthorn.
Yep.
Like, Radiance inherently doesn't bother him that much because eventually he'll get items like BKB. But there's no real way around this.
PA is going to get third item, BKB. They have Heaven's Halberd coming in for KP at some point, if he can actually get to it. Moon going to go for the Scythe, which he desperately needs with the way that Fada has just been a terror to them. Whether it's starting fights or catching heroes or, you know, defending pushes and splitting around the map, they just need that solid lockdown. They're going to be able to run into the puck here, but as you can see, Fada just very easily phase shift, blinks away. Moon still thinks he can catch him, though. The rest of the team, though, Nip are pushing high ground, so Fada's just toying with them. He's looking to be able to cancel TPs, and he does. KPs, he gets canceled. Moon is still waiting for his TP to come up.
This is pretty disastrous. They're just going to lose a tier 3 for free here.
KP's going to run back, and they know he's running back, so they might try and cut him off.
Yeah. Everybody from NIP's pinging, they're laughing about it.
Tower has fallen.
This is the chillest game that Ace has ever had to play.
Yeah. It's pretty relaxing.
1-0-2? Is that what his score was?
Radiant's top tower
The Medusa,
is
yeah.
under attack.
Yeah, he's just, he's farmed a lot of creeps.
I
They
like
have
how
not killed him.
We're talking about how the Butterfly is so good because none of the heroes on Mineski want to build MKB. Well, that would have been a similar story if Mineski was up. Nobody really likes building MKB to deal with this PA. But since our Medusa is so far ahead, he's already got his 3 core items. He's going to build MKB next. So he'll have an answer to the blur. Okay, well, Ninja Boogie out of position. KP's going to make his jump. They're going to go for Ace here. They just dropped the Sandy's Eclipse right away to burn through his mana, but he still did not take a whole lot of damage to his HP, and Mineski just ran out of steam.
NIP is just completely reset.
Yeah. BKB was used for that. God Strength was used for that. All they have to do is wait.
Really, they just got rid of the mana from the Dusa. They used everything.
Yeah. Though I suppose there's no easy way to give Ace his mana back.
Nah,
they don't have Arcane Boots.
Look, the Soxa brought clarities for this reason.
That's 1 clarity. That's a Mystic Snake. Gets him back up to 600.
He's fine.
That's probably enough. You don't need full mana. Let's go up again.
And another ping, they're like, no OD ults, no AA, no BKB on PA.
Do you give up the Rax? I think you do.
I mean, I feel like you have to fight, but it just doesn't feel good.
Yeah, well.
If you give up this Rax, I think that NIP is just going to... Oh,
Sorry.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
I think they just go down bottom, too. Like,
Yeah.
the same thing will just happen anyways.
Dire's middle
They'll
barracks.
finish up top, I guess.
Moon can't even, like, push out the wave too much because of Fada with his Boots of Travel. If he, like, glyphs the wave, he could catch the OD or something.
Dire's top barracks has fallen.
He's going to TP onto the Shrine immediately, Moon. Showing himself for just a moment, and just the second he does, Fada's on the hunt. Throws out an orb.
Radiant are
He's going to miss him. And nobody finds the OD. Moon will be safe. 2 lanes down, though. And Roshan's up. Sandy's Eclipse still needs another 50 seconds. At least they have their BKB and God Strength back, but Sandy's Eclipse feels like it's absolutely necessary against the Medusa. So I don't know if Nip were to like just all in Roshan right now. I'm sure Mineski would fight. I don't know if they would win the fight.
Yeah, there's a gem now on the AA. They're sort of in desperation mode right now. All right, to be fair to KP,
Yeah, that is
that is not a carry Sven like we normally see. This is everyone relax. I have to think that this is a draft thing.
Yeah.
a little bit play too.
That graph situation, that's not KP's fault. That's Mineski's fault for playing a 3-position Sven in the first place. So that's a team error right there. The Solar Crest completed for the Bristleback. Everybody from NIP is currently wrapping in behind Mineski right now. They're going to catch him now. Mineski is kind of on a high ground area. So it's not going to be the easiest fight for NIP to find a clean initiation on. Mineski hoping that they're going to catch NIP unaware by sitting on top of their shrine, basically. Bounty runes, they spot the Sven. Okay, they're going to go for this kill now. The Soulbind goes out, doesn't latch to anybody, and just a full retreat. Rage of Potato with the Glimmer Cape, TP away. He's good.
Another whiffed coil, but really perfectly fine as NIP. They're just going to walk into Rush Pond Pit.
Yeah.
Like, we'll take this instead. This game looking really straightforward right now for them as Fada's going to go deal with the mid wave.
Yeah, they saw Fada, like, they want to hunt him, but, oh, they do have the scythe. Okay. Didn't see that pickup from the OD, so they do have the power to kill Fada.
So they do manage to finally get a kill on him. That was a long time coming. There's a full MKB now on this Deucer, though.
Yeah.
And you've got Solar Crest, Halberd. Looks like he's going to go for a similar video.
I mean, the best part is, like, they finally countered Fada, but it's 31 minutes in, so all he has to do is change his gameplay a little bit. He did what he was supposed to do. He pretty much won a lot of NIP, the game. And now he can just rely on Ace.
Mineski is actually doing okay despite the fact that they're dual racks.
Yeah.
They're only down by 7K. That's pretty reasonable considering the circumstances. I think if you're Mineski, you look for a fight here. It's 4-on-5. NIP are relying on the fact that there's 20 seconds left on this puck, but you probably don't get a better opportunity.
Just ignore the Medusa immediately. The borrow time goes out as he wants to be able to get over to 33, but they burst him down already. The Stone Gaze has gone out, but Mineski, all they have to do is just kind of bide their time. The Soulbind latches in the two of them. Ajit just needs to make sure he doesn't die here, as there is going to be that second life in the Medusa.
That big crit, and now Sox has been found out too as Moon. Gets the Astral, but Fada's now here.
Fada's going to be able to blow him up with the Dagon. Can the second life of Ace, can they actually bring him down? They do manage to get the silence on him. The Inkswell stunning him up. He's out of mana, and he's dead. Soxa with the telekinesis. Ajit was looking for that extra kill and might be able to find it, but they have no stuns to stop his teleport away. But still, a big win for Mineski. That's a 4,000 net worth difference just off of the fight. Not to mention all the extra farm they're going to get now that they have some sort of map control. Now that they can hit creeps and not have to worry about dying to Fada.
Yeah, they went for a decisive move. They saw that Fada was dead, and NIP were still fighting, and willing to fight. And even though they had the Aegis, it's still 4-on-5. That's one of the better situations that you're going to get. If they could have killed the creep in the fight, that would have been even better.
Do you feel like that was a blunder from NIP? Like, it was unnecessary?
Plus, Raging Potato now has the Ags.
Oh, yeah, he has the Dark Portrait.
That's so good against the Medusa.
Oh, yeah.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Medusa says that it's able to do 150% outgoing damage.
Dude, oh man, NIP.
One thing they do need to do, though, is make sure they stun the Medusa, otherwise the illusion's going to die, like, really quickly. Jumping forward, Fada trying to catch KP, and TP out from Raging Potato. He's saying, nope. We're all going to TP away, and Fada doesn't, they have no stuns.
They have one stun. Well, it's coil plus the lift.
Yeah.
That's it.
He doesn't even have Yules.
So they actually just got out. Casual as can be, and all of a sudden, despite being down 2 racks, this PA is looking really massive.
It goes to show that if the Mineski lineup, if their laning phase, if they actually had a good laning phase, a better one, where they had a successful kill lane with the Sven and stuff, this lineup definitely could have dominated NIP. They are making the comeback. One more good team fight. There'll still be 2 lanes of racks down, but they will even out that net worth lead.
I think it goes both ways. Like, one good team fight for NIP and the game is over.
That's true.
As well because of this bottom racks.
There is no buybacks, pretty much. No buybacks on almost anybody from Mineski.
Portrait, though.
Time to get some...
Oh, they know about Ajit.
Hey, somebody get close to Ajit. He needs a blink opportunity if he's spotted. Of course, they don't have a whole lot of stuns to catch him unless they're going to commit the Dream Coil, but he doesn't have Ags, so he could just pop BKB and get out.
Poor Ninja Boogie. No charges on his vessel. That's okay, though.
I'm not sure if he ever will, because he's always being jumped immediately. This time it's going to be the OD jump right next to the tier 4s. He's silenced up right now, but eventually that will fade. He will be able to imprison himself. And they manage to get the soul bind onto the puck. They get the cleave onto both him as well as Sox and Ice Blast to be able to finish up the puck. But they have to back up. KP's a little bit low. OD is still being saved. 33 tried to commit for that kill, but another self-imprisonment. Will be able to cheese himself. Jit not able to commit for that kill, but now pops his BKB and thought about going for ace, but immediately disengages himself, realizing he can't continue to go forward.
They still want to fight because it's 4-on-5 right now.
Yeah, now that the OD is healed up, they can definitely go forward. Now there is going to be the illusion stopping his Blink Dagger, but KP, even at low HP, is willing to jump forward, see if he can catch anybody he can. He's going to be imprisoned, buying himself some time. Ace is playing on the high ground right now. Mineski do not want to play into that area right now. That is too much. So KP may be just left to die as he's going to be in prison once again. He does have Blink up. Blink away? No.
And the timing of the shield popping is going to catch him in the end, but I like the idea. I think they were supposed to go up there.
Yeah.
Once Fata died, but the wasted BKB from Ajit made that so hard for him to follow up.
Yeah, if they just kind of like chilled out and reset.
They're having a pretty hard time killing this OD, though.
Yes, they are. I can't believe that Fata made a jump like that with nobody nearby from Mineski, and they couldn't bring down the OD.
And there's pings right now from Moon. This will just reset things right now as he's going to skip the wave once again, try to extend this game out. And the gold lead.
A prize.
It's pretty much down to nothing. OD still does not have buyback, so this is going to be a very risky move, him cutting creeps.
We just talked about how they don't really have that many stuns.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking, again, the Glyph bots play from the puck. Yeah, Moon's too scared to actually show. He just hung out in the trees and eventually TP back. There's a double damage shot. And a smoke up. Mineski are not going to sit on their laurels. They want to be active. They want to go out. But
I knew about this DD rune.
His smoke is going to pop here. He gets a little bit close. His blur is now going to pop as well. He knows there's heroes around. KP is going to be ink swelled up. Goes for the stun onto Ace. They're going to try and take him out. First things first. They have the Ice Blast as well. Since Sandy's eclipsed, and it will be enough. They manage to take him out. He has no buyback either. And OD still alive. Fata couldn't actually finish him up the Abyssal Blade into the base. He does manage to get the Heaven's Halberd, and that's going to slow down the PA's damage. They've already won the fight, so 33 will die. Triple kill for Raging Potato. Was that the Dark Portrait? It works. All they needed to do was stun the Medusa. They dropped the Sandy's Eclipse, the Ice Blast, everything.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Wow, we're actually going to get a game 3.
It's looking like it.
They bring it all the way back. They're up 1K now. There was a DD rune right there that they never really checked.
Yeah.
Imagine if the Dusa has that. And he fully bought out the Scotty. But I sort of think he needs a BKB at this point.
Yeah.
Like, the Hex is just destroying him.
Hex is destroying him. The back-to-back stuns. You've got the Sanity's Eclipse.
Like, he has so many items, and he's not able to utilize any of them because he doesn't have BKB. Is the Hex, the instant Hex.
Oh, can he actually kill him? Moon doesn't have Sandy's Eclipse. He's just going to rely on right-click damage. The Ice Blast is just enough vision. But Soxa is going to come in, try and finish him off, and gets him with the imprisonment. No, he actually stole Equilibrium, but kills him just right-clicking him to death.
That is 1,100 gold for Soxa. But I don't even know what items he gets at this point to try to equalize things, as now the lead has really extended itself.
Yeah.
So we're going to see here again. He just gets Hex and dies. If he has a BKB there, I feel like he just BKBs, fights in a KP. He can do something about Moon. And look at this Dusa Dark Portrait. It just goes to work.
Oh, Jit back into the game. Managed to find the pickoff on Soxa.
And it all begins with that bottom push. What if they just waited for Fata? Like, you saw how much damage he did in that fight.
Yeah.
All he had to do was wait. But NIP, they were thinking to themselves, like, well, we still have Aegis Dusa. We'll just frontline with it.
Aeon Disc instead. I was looking at it, I thought maybe he was going to get the Aghanim Scepter he had queued up, but I like this choice instead for Soxa. Because as long as you stop the initiation from Mineski, you need to make sure that you can't just jump in and burst down these heroes.
All right, so there is an Axe coil.
Axe coil. Oh, you mean the Axe in the Roshan?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So this is something Nip really, really need, right? Because an Aghanim's upgraded Dream Claw would do work against a PA.
They need many items right now at this point, Cap.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, what's Ace got queued up?
Ace has nothing queued up because he finished his Scotty. So he has buyback queued up right now. He's got 500 gold in the bank. He just wants enough that if they lose a fight, he can actually...
He's blurred up too. They're going to want to take this fight.
Yeah.
And there's no buyback on Ace, so if he just dies here, they're going to go down mid.
And KP, I mean, he's been very willing. I love how he's played the last 10 minutes to just kind of using his body to start fights. Just going in anytime. Najit is here in the back line. So they're going to make the Stormhammer onto Peter.
They really want to start this fight.
The Blur's going to go off again now. He's going to realize he's close to somebody. He's going to try and work his way. Does he go all the way up to the high ground? They know where the puck is. Somewhere in that tree line.
Oh.
Now they jump forward. They're actually going to go for the OD. The OD's been caught. He doesn't really have a save mechanism. He's stone gazed up as well. He now gets done. Double Stormhammer into the back line, though. Goes Ajit. Managed to get Sox up, but the double damage isn't quite enough to finish him out. He got no crits. KP will finally get that kill, but can they actually fight into Ace? Buybacks coming out from Nip all over the place. They want to be able to catch Ajit, and they do manage to get him. He's already used his BKB. He doesn't have a blink away. He is dead. He does have buyback, while the OD, what happened to him? How did he get started on? How did the engagement go from him getting initiated on and blown up immediately?
I don't know how Mineski loses that fight. Like, they have a DDPA. He can just walk in from behind, but they were impatient. They sandwiched a little bit too early. They have double Hex. The Grimstroke has a Hex for himself. The OD does too, but they're not able to get anything off. And now the pendulum swings back the other way as...
Oh, yeah. Get that Aghanim Scepter. That synth upgrade for the puck.
They did have to use 2 buybacks for that on the side of an IP. That's why the gold lead didn't swing completely the other way. But with the Ags and all that, we're now only up to 1K on the side of Mineski. It was 8K a second ago.
I mean, I was just praising them for basically, you know, KP was always starting the fights, letting the OD and PA get better initiations, and instead the OD gets jumped almost immediately.
It should be KP frontlining. Then from behind, the PA comes in with the surprise DD rune, and the fight's just over. They get on top of Ace, but they weren't able to do that.
And now, well, they're going to go for the Soul Bind. Double Stormhammer. They do have the Ice Blast coming in, and Peter's going to take a lot of damage, but I love how 33 just immediately rushes forward and pushing back Mineski as best as possible. The Stone Gaze will eventually wear out here. KP was able to finish off the Sox that died as well as Peter. They're going to lose their supports, and that means there's no save for Ace. They will be able to get the Scythe on to 33. He thought he was going to TP out successfully. Now he's dead, and the second life of the Medusa, she has nowhere to go to. All she can hope is she gets some sort of kill, but obviously they have too many stuns to let that happen. God, it takes so long with that extra, 1,000 mana, 25 talent that they got.
Yeah, but they still will eventually take her down, and it all begins with Raging Potatoes double Hex. Like, there's so many different ways they could have started that mid-fight.
Yeah.
And they chose the worst of all options, but doesn't really matter. Ace does manage to get buyback now.
Oh, that's interesting. OD, has this been the thing lately? He went for the 15% spell lifesteal. Have I missed that? I thought people were going the orb. Either way, Mineski rolling up to the high ground, looking to force some buybacks. Now, Nip don't have to buy back here because they still have a tier 1 tower at top lane. So even if they are dead for a super long time, they could let Mineski take mid lane and bottom lane and hold their buybacks, which may be more important than barracks.
And that's 40 seconds on Dusa. I feel like...
Do you threaten Throne to force the buyback?
You probably go bottom, right?
Yeah.
I would go bottom.
But
that's exactly what they're going to do.
But are Nip going to actually buy back on the Medusa? I don't think so. You just let them take Raxus, right?
Double Rax? Yeah, I guess. Oh, it doesn't
Oh,
feel
they're going
good,
to try
though.
and make the initiation. The jump forward, the Dream Coil onto 2. They are going to buy back on the Medusa. They want to try and end this game right here, and they've already caught Moon. That he's dead. Then the Sven is dead as well. They both have buyback. Raging Potato's going to be spotted, but barely able to get away. All the important heroes of Mineski did get out. The ones that didn't have buyback
You
anymore,
needed
like
to
the
catch
PA.
Ajit there.
Yeah.
That was the hope for that buyback.
Yeah.
That was sort of the all-in, let's go.
Instead, they only get the 2 cores that do have buyback.
And they're smoked right now on the side of Mineski.
Wait, but are
And
they
they've got
assuming they're
hacks.
going to split up
Yeah, I think so.
and they're going to get a
They get a
pickup?
successful scan.
I mean, it's a cool idea. It's a risky maneuver,
It's a very risky maneuver.
but if they successfully got a pickoff, they'd probably be able to hold their buybacks, but maybe they still will. A Nip does not seem willing to try and force it out of them, right? At least not yet.
No, because the downside of their lineup is they have no way to run from Mineski's lineup. Mineski's lineup is so good at chasing
Yeah.
and continuing the chase because they've got 50 different stuns that if this Dusa gets caught into a position where she's forced to go for a high ground fight, like the same thing will happen in the previous engagement where she just gets chased down and they'll 1-on-5 her.
Okay, so Mineski don't have to use their buybacks. What do you think they do here? Because they don't have a buyback on PA. If they were to try and say, oh, the Medusa doesn't have a buyback, neither does the Puck, let's just go. But they lose the fight, they could still lose the game.
Yes, that is the scary part for them. But I actually think they still could go for it.
Would you want them to just play that risky move and go for it? I want to.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now
they've
you're
been
gonna
playing.
Ags on this Sven.
Yeah, that's a sick pickup with the
Go
PA.
UKP. I thought your hero was terrible and for 28 odd minutes it was, but now
Now he's going to give the PA a bonus 125% damage,
oh my.
thanks to the Scepter AoE.
How has it come to this cap?
I don't know.
They let a Medusa go 1, 0, and 2, march down all their lanes, double up everyone's net worth,
Yeah.
and now he's building BKB because I think Ace has realized like, oh god, I really messed up, guys.
They screwed the pooch on this one, boys.
This one's on me, lads.
Oh no, this is reminding me of that Morphling game now.
Yeah, from Nisha.
Oh no, Nisha, yeah. There's been a lot of leads thrown by not having BKBs on your.
The best
on
part
your
about
core.
having BKB is it enables all your, your prodigious net worth, your 30,000 gold to actually be like feel useful. That's what BKB does for you. And he's gonna go for a Lincoln's.
Lincoln's instead to try and just stop the initial stun, giving him enough time to get off Stone Gaze. Which, if it works, then it's fantastic, because it usually means they throw a bunch of stuns, but Stone Gaze is already going off and they can't commit.
And this Bristleback is not nearly as scary as he was in the other game we saw.
No.
There's so many bounty runes picked up by the side of NIP. 4,000 gold, dude.
4,000 more gold out of bounties, yet Mineski's currently up by 3,000. And they're playing around the Roshan pit, which won't spawn.
What's the win probability?
Another 2
say?
minutes.
55-45.
It's still in the favor of Nip,
I mean, I think
just
this game
ever so slightly.
is still very close.
Yeah.
Really, it just takes a mistake from either side because there's no buyback on this PA for now.
Radiant's top tower
They're
is
just
under
going to wait out the
attack.
PA buyback, I think.
I mean, it goes to show how far ahead Nip was when they've lost like 4 fights in a row. I'm not going to count them catching Heroes bottom
Yeah,
lane.
yeah, yeah.
That was
I
a win,
agree.
I think, from Mineski. So they've lost like 4 fights in a row, and they're still, according to
don't
Dota,
forget about the
slightly
mid-fight.
favored. Huh?
The mid-fight.
Oh yeah, they
won
did
the
catch the
mid-fight.
OD. That's right. That was. I tried to blank that one out of my mind. Well, both carries are going to try and get a late. Okay, never mind. Finally, initiation. They managed to get the silence onto Peter, but of course he's got borrowed time, so he won't actually heal a ton because of the Spirit Vessel on the side. They managed to get the side, the opening. They pop the God Strength. KP is looking for some sort of initiation. Managed to disarm the Medusa. That's something at least, but they're kiting around these heroes. Piran is still alive. Ninja Boogie, he's kind of left out with a Glimmer. KP will be okay here. They're going to
Ajit wants to
re-engage.
chase. He's got
Ajit,
BKB.
He's not sure if he wants to be able to go for Ace. He wants somebody else. They do manage to spot Soxy. He's going to go for Peter. Wipes him out with one big crit. He does have a buyback. 33 slowed down, but he had a cheese, and they committed for him now. BKD, he didn't get it off, but now he gets it off. He's already off half HP. Fortunately, the Satanic heals him out the full, and he will be able to blink back to the rest of his allies.
And they're going to retreat off of this. Mineski, something went terribly wrong with their initiation.
Yeah.
Because they had so many hexes. Did not target fire correctly, but
Does he keep on? I'm not seeing the dark portrait.
yeah.
Have you been seeing it? What's he been doing with it?
No.
Has he been throwing it on the Medusa and it just dies? Or I don't know. He looks
He's
like he
got
didn't
it
use it
up.
that fight. So.
The Ice Blast. They were thinking about going for the
Oh, they
reinitiation.
do manage to spot him with a Soul
The
Bind
double
double
hex.
scythe. They're going to be able to get the double storm hammer follow up as well. Peter does have borrowed time, so he's going to be okay. And KP's just taking damage in the back lines. They do manage to get the imprisonment on the Medusa. Turns around, standing to Eclipse. A lot of his mana's gone, but enough that Ace can still fight this out. Moon is now
Moon's dead.
completely isolated himself from the rest of his team, diving in like that.
And now with the portrait up, Deuce is going to kill it though very quickly. And Moon is just getting way too overeager. They're not letting their hexes play out naturally. And Ajit still a little bit scared because he didn't have buyback. Like he didn't want to hard commit to that fight whatsoever. Like they misread that situation entirely.
Especially since Peter bought back in that situation. I feel like Mineski would have been, with the Soulbind that they had, they could have just gone, let's just kill these two supports or force Nip to move into us.
Yes.
You know, we didn't need to like fully engage. Because if they kill the Abaddon, I feel like that's really important for him, you know, being down for like 90 or 100 seconds or something. That aphotic shield.
Okay.
Okay, good Dream Coil. Ajit, careful not to break it. It'll fade away in a second
It's gonna
here.
last forever.
They know they're doing Roshan right now. 420 GPM finally picked up for the puck. They do have the Ice Blast. Is Ajit going to think about it at all?
If it hits on
He
the
has a
puck,
buyback
maybe.
now. Roshan's low enough. They're going to pop the Stone Gaze to make sure they can't actually get into the
Oh,
pit.
he gets the Aegis hit.
Oh, he does. He gets a Roshan last hit, but they do manage to get the Soul Bind under the
double
puck.
stun.
He's not going to go anywhere, though. He got the double silence, double dagger, but they do manage to get away.
Oh,
Fortunately for Fada, nobody from Nip actually got close enough that could have caught him in the Soul Bind.
now the Bristleback has an Ags himself. Cheese Refresher.
That Ags is going to look sick for him. He hasn't been doing a ton of right-click damage, but he will give a lot of AoE minus armor that'll help the Medusa out and her damage. Playing into the high ground right now. They're actually just banging on the shrine right now, but the OD is showing himself atop. Nip know that they can just kind of run at heroes.
And
But
they've got to
again,
be careful. I mean, Ags Coil. Don't forget, guys.
yeah. Especially with the refresher shard that he has. Okay, so earlier.
I actually thought that Fada was going to go for that.
Yeah, he should have. The OD showed himself.
He pinged. He just reacted like a quarter. I mean, he had 0 time to react.
Yeah. The OD should be getting BKB soon. He was going to get it earlier and then got Boots of Travel instead. Still has yet to get that magic immunity item. Fada jumping forward does manage to get the coil onto Raging Potato, who's also telekinesis. Ajit being chased by the Bristleback right now. Throws a Solar Crest on him. They are going to try and finish off Raging Potato before he can cast any more Dark Archer. He does manage to get the Soul Bind. Ice Blast onto one. That's only going to be the Abaddon. So both supports have been caught out from Mineski. The rest of the cores are going to leave them to die because the supports have buyback. Problem is, they use some of their bigger spells, and Nip might try and take advantage of that, especially since they have Aegis Cheese and a Refresher Shard.
Yeah,
they
they're,
actually use the Refresher Shard,
Still
sorry.
mid right now, and Ajit, he's got to be careful here. As Fada blinks in, it's point blank. They've got to be careful, but they get the lift onto Ajit first.
Oh,
and the
Moon
double
actually
stun.
jumped in. He got hit by the telekinesis. The BKB activated, though. Looking at targets, Stone Gaze immediately going
Ajit
off, but
has nowhere
Ajit
to
just
go
needs
on.
to be able to go back. He jumps to his allies, but can Nip catch them? That's one of the bigger problems. They don't have a ton of catch without the puck. The blink forward from Soxa just needs one telekinesis. Any target will do, and he gets the imprisonment. He caught the PA. He does have a refresher onto the puck. He can actually go for the coil. He looks for the back line. He's going to find the Grimstroke once again. Just takes him out of the fight after he buys back like that. Sven with the God Strength. He's going to be able to get the Scythe Device control up onto the puck. Now the Soul Bind on the 33, who's quite low. They're slowing down
Fada's bot
KP,
back.
just getting damage on him bit by bit. But the PA kind of covers his tracks, jumps to his ally. They're going to have to play a 4 versus 5 as Fada.
The Grimstroke is so huge for this team fight, too.
Yeah.
The double hex, the Dark Portrait.
And they're on a clock, too, because Megas I'm not sure how well they'd fight up against that. They're going to start the dagger spam. Moon looking for his opportunity. He's just going to go for the side. They're just going to try and blow up as quick as possible. They don't have the easiest time. The imprisonment into Sandy's Eclipse.
He's got Aegis,
very
though.
low on mana. He does have the Aegis. This is going to be every single one of their abilities. They do manage to take him out finally. Another imprisonment going down to be able to try and save some heroes. Rubik doing a lot of work with
just
that.
out of mana.
Saksa
And
wasn't
Fada's
able to
dead.
save Fada. Fada is dead for now 2 minutes. Moon's going to jump over. Imprisonment thrown out. Wasn't his, though. It was actually Sox's self-imprisonment to be able to save himself. And now Moon is giving up Megas, just trying to get away from 33 and Soxa, while Ajit commits onto the ace. They know he can't really get away so easily. If Moon could just survive it, he does manage to get a blink away. Not enough damage going out. Peter popping his Bardo time to try and save Ace. Ace who's popped his Stone Gaze to be able to force Ajit to disengage. But now Ajit, he can look to go back in. They cannot afford for Ace to be able to get away. They need a stun on him. They need a
TP.
stun now, but he gets the TP out. More heroes gonna TP away. Peter gets out. Soxa's away. 33's far enough. He's not gonna be caught either. They got Megas and they got out.
That was such a crazy fight. And now Ajit buys the Divine Rapier.
Yeah, as he should.
He knows maybe they get one more fight out of this. And oh man,
60 seconds with no puck.
I mean, this OD is just getting kited.
Yeah. Dude, Soxa is stealing imprisonment, buying some time for the Medusa at one point, and then saving himself with the imprisonment because Moon was going to Scythe initiate on him. So he imprisons himself instead. Ice Blast.
They're going to go for it with Fada dead, no buyback. One of
Yeah.
their better opportunities. There is buyback on the other three heroes. So they're going to
Grimstroke
frontline. I mean,
is-
Mineski can only throw it at this point.
Yeah. They just
And-
have to go for it.
Yeah, they know that.
Gonna
And
pop the God Strength, KP leading the way. Like always, there's gonna be a glyph slowing him down.
Ajit does so much damage with this Rapier and the Sven's God
They're
Strength.
gonna disarm him with the Heaven's Halberd, just trying to slow things down. 20 seconds, that's all they need for this puck. And Mineski not doing fast enough damage. There's the imprisonment save from Soxa. Using it on the Bristleback. Now they're trying to go on to Ace right now, who's Scythe-iced up. He's at half mana. They do manage to get the Soul Bind. They're jumping in with Ajit. They manage to get the double Abyssal Blade, but again, the save from Soxa with that imprisonment. Meanwhile, Bristleback trying to commit, going for Raging Potato with his BKB. The Ice Blast actually nails Peter as well as Ace, but Ace will limp away ever so barely. It is still a
They're
4
going for the
versus
throne.
4. They're going for the throne as quick as possible. This tier 4 is just getting chunked down by Ajit. A telekinesis. Soxa tosses him into Sven.
Their own
33,
base.
that's a lot of damage. 2,200, knock him down to half HP. In prison, they have another Heaven's Halberd, but Ajit just keeps on going for it. He has the Satanic. Soxa with the imprisonment. Once again, just trying to delay, but now KP tries to jump, but Lincoln gives him enough time to be able to get off the Stone Gaze, and Moon is committed. He BKBs, he snaps a coil as well. Ajit, he needs to activate his Satanic, but he dies! He doesn't do any damage. Now Moon's gonna be forced away. He's dead as well, and that's it. Mineski, they went all in for the throne, and it was a close call, but at the very end, they couldn't make it happen. Fada coming in with the two-man Dream Coil. Shout out to Soxa with the imprisonments.
Oh my.
The fast Stone Gaze from Ace as well completely killed Moon's initiation.
Soxa saved this game so many different times.
Yeah.
And Mineski, I mean, they played it back so well to almost get that game to even. Then that mid-engagement happens where I feel they had all the momentum in the world.
Yeah.
They lose that mid-team fight. Then they take that weird team fight up at top where Moon overcommits. Then
Yep.
Ajit dies at bottom. Then he has to be forced into a buyback situation. They gave up every single Roche. Moon bought his BKB so late because he wanted to go travels.
I mean, two different engagements. That was Moon, right? Moon getting caught in mid, Moon getting like that heavy dive in where he tries to imprison the Medusa and then fight or something
Yeah,
deep
and
in
then,
enemy lines.
And his PA has BKB DD. He's
Yeah.
found like the perfect angle. All he has
Yeah.
to do is be a little bit patient. Because I think Ajit made the call that you made, which is I'm going to go all the way around and I'll take the high ground. And his team was just like, go, go, go. They had so many hexes, and they had no counter to hexes because nobody had BKB or Lincolns on the side of NIP for so long.
Yeah.
And so I felt like that should have been their game, and instead, oh, Mineski.
I mean, if you look at this Mineski lineup, right? Moon, everybody talks about Moon as just being a star player. This is kind of one of those players, you build a lineup around him, does not have a strong game 2 performance. KP, I mean, come on. That guy, TI Grand Finals, man, that's another star player that you have. Game 1, terrible game by him. Just two different star players that have bad games, and the series just goes immediately 2-0 to Ninjas in Pyjamas. Our very first 2-0 of the tournament, too.
That is I really thought that we were going to get like the 8th 2-1 in a row.
Yeah.
And realistically speaking, like, okay, NIP should have won the game for sure.
Yeah.
And then it definitely should have been Mineski.
Yeah. Well, messy series, but Ninjas in Pyjamas do climb out on top. Well, our first 2-0. The curse is broken. We'll see what Richard and the rest of the boys think about our crazy game 2.
Observing something where I felt like I would actually push the whole crowd forwards. I could give people something that they would enjoy.